Hey guys, welcome back to Stay Creating channel with me, Amanda Love Santos. Today I'm going to be diving into how to launch your Etsy shop and get over 500 sales. As many of you guys know, I recently launched an Etsy store at the very end of March. We're in July and I have almost 600 sales as of now. I was very intentional with how I went about launching the shop. I've had Etsy stores in the past. I did have success with, but not as much as this shop. So I'm really excited to kind of share with you guys what I did different this time around. I did a lot of research. I talked to a lot of people with successful shops with thousands and thousands of sales, and I picked their brain of how they were able to do it. And so I'm here today to share with you guys those tips. So before we get started, I would love to know what you guys are planning on selling. Do you have a shop already? Are you planning on launching a shop? Let us know in the comments. Let's go support each other, follow each other's shops, and just be that community that I feel like we need as makers. Okay, so let's get started. Tip number 1 is research. This is so key. I cannot stress this enough, you guys. Research is the first thing that you should be doing before you open your shop. If you have your shop open, it's never too late. The more research that you do, the more that you're gonna learn about not only the marketplace, but your customer, your audience, and also your product and how to share your product with the world in a way that converts more to sales. So to start off your research, what I suggest is to go onto Etsy and whatever product category you may be in. So for me, I sell crochet patterns and I'm getting into different fiber arts goods, but whatever product category that you are in is what you need to research. So for example, if you are selling clay earrings, handmade earrings, then I would suggest that you literally go into the search bar in Etsy, type in clay earrings, and just start doing your research. See what comes up when you hit the search button, and you're gonna start seeing all different kinds of clay earrings from different sellers, and there's gonna be some that stand out. There's gonna be some that actually are labeled as best sellers, and those are the ones that you really want to dive more into and see how they became best sellers. Come across best sellers, you want to see how did they photograph their products, how did they title the listing, what did they include in the description, what kind of photos did they include. More than likely you're gonna have an assortment of photos, product photos, but also lifestyle photos. Videos are super important. We're going to talk about all of those things here shortly, but really this is your time to completely dive in and just be a student to what is doing well on Etsy. So you're taking notes, you are saving screenshots, you are looking at the different sellers, do they have a ton of reviews, do they have a ton of sales, are they smaller? All of these things you're taking into account, and it's going to help you as you're opening your shop and listing your products. Tip number 2 is to create a strong listing using keywords. Part of that research that you did before, you were looking to see kind of what keywords people are using, how are they writing their descriptions, their titles, all of that. Now, one more tool that I'm going to suggest to you guys is the Google Keyword Planner, and that is going to be so essential for you guys. Google has this amazing tool. Basically enter keywords and it will give you information like monthly search volume. It'll tell you whether the competition is high or low. And it'll also give you other ideas that are related to what you typed in. What you're really looking for is a high search volume and low competition. Now that may not be realistic, but that's like the ideal thing. Like if you find that, you really want to use those type of keywords. If it's maybe like a little less volume and maybe it's like medium competition, like those are still keywords that you can definitely try to use. And maybe it doesn't have like the most traffic, maybe it's in the couple thousands, but if the competition's low, like that's actually still a good keyword that you can use in your listing. So when you're preparing your title for your listing, you want to use the strongest keywords in that title, and you can use multiple keywords and separate them using commas. Now, whatever keywords you choose as like your top keywords, like your top 3 to 5 keywords, you also want to use that in the description. And the description is an amazing place to be able to create, to optimize your listing and to rank your listing. So in the description, do not be short. Try to be as detailed as possible, talking about the features, talking about whatever it may be, the colors, the sizes, like whatever makes your product unique. You want to list that in the description. Usually I'll have a paragraph kind of like talking about the product, and then I'll do like bullet points to list more features. And I keep that structure with all of my listings because I found that it helps me include those keywords in an organic way. Tip number 3 is to use photos that stand out. So part of that research that you want to do is when you're looking at your product category, keep an eye out for the photos that really stand out to you. As you're scrolling, even try to like scroll kind of fast. When people are searching, for the most part, they're scrolling, they're not paying that much attention, maybe they're doing something else as they're looking. So you want to see like what pops, what stands out, what makes you want to click to see the listing. Those are the photos that you want to take notes of so that you could learn from these product listings. And it's different for each product category. Each product really is going to have different photos that capture your attention. So this is super key to making sure that you take the right photos. Something that I noticed that really helps your product stand out in photos is that if it's a light colored product, to use a contrasting background. So like let's say if your product is white, try using a different color that's going to contrast it a little bit so that it stands out and pops. And if your product is very colorful, then try to use a light colored background in order to make that stand out and really pop. Also keep in mind that your thumbnail to your product listing is very, very small. So when you're editing a photo or when you're taking a photo, you're seeing it like huge, right? So you have to keep in mind that when you use this photo, you have to show them what they need to see to be able to recognize the pattern. For example, the clay earrings example that we talked about before, like earrings are small, so you have to make sure that it's zoomed in enough for them to see like the design, see that it actually is an earring, maybe even showing off the texture or whatever it may be. Like that is going to be super key to somebody clicking on your product listing versus another, is that detail that they can see in the photo. Also keep in mind, if there's a lot going on in the photo, you may not be able to showcase your product as well as you could. What I mean by that is like, let's take this photo where there's a ton going on. You almost don't even know what exactly is being sold. That is an example of it being distracting. Even though it's a beautiful photo, it may be better used for like social or like a lifestyle type of photo. That's an example of a photo that may be a little too distracting and people may not know what it is that you're selling. This would be great as a lifestyle photo, just not the first thumbnail photo that people are going to see when they're scrolling and searching. So keep that in mind. This photo right here is very clean. There's not much going on, so people can really focus in on the product that you're selling, and it'll capture their eyes and not distract them as much. Both are great photos, but for that thumbnail photo, the one with the least distractions is probably going to do better. You can be the judge of that. These are just tips that I've noticed that have been working with my shop. Tip number 4 is to get as many 5-star reviews as possible. And you guys might be wondering, how do you even do that? So if you're starting a brand new shop, you have no reviews, you have no sales, this is kind of the hardest to get a sale, to be honest, because of the fact that people don't really know if you're trustworthy at this point. So that is why it is so important. Like the other things that we already went over, like the photos, a strong listing, very detailed, like all of those things are so important because they're gonna help the buyer feel more comfortable with making this purchase without reviews or without any sales. So this is kind of a 2-part question. So how do you get the first few sales? You be as detailed as possible, you provide as many photos and videos, we're gonna go into videos in a bit, as possible. And you also wanna be very intentional with your about. So do not leave the about area blank. Like that is not helping you. You wanna provide people with photos of your workspace, photos of you making the handmade products that you're selling. You want to write an about that is showing people like, hey, they're supporting a real life person. You know, this is a person with a dream, with a shop that loves making these handmade products. You want to feature that in your about. And then the other thing that you can do is to have a little bit more of a competitive pricing in the beginning. In order to get your shop going, to get people buying and leaving reviews. I actually didn't have to even do that. The first 2 things that I mentioned of just being super detailed with your listing, the photos, the videos, and then also the about, that was enough to get people buying from me. And so I didn't really have to lower my prices or anything. But it did cross my mind. Before I listed my product, I was like, if I have trouble, I can kind of lower my pricing, give these people that are kind of taking a risk on being the first buyers, give them a little bit of a price discount. So once you have people actually buying your product, then the 5-star review is the second part of that question. So how do you get them to leave a 5-star review? There are so many parts to this, but I'm just gonna keep it very simple. You want to give them the best customer experience humanly possible. How do you do that? You want to put yourself in the shoes of your buyer. And everything that we've talked about this far is going to help with the customer experience. And once you actually take their money and either send them a product, in my case I have a digital product, so they are able to download it immediately. Like, what kind of experience do they have then? So you want to keep in mind packaging. That is a huge opportunity for you to give the customer the best experience. Be thoughtful with your packaging. Can you make this sustainable? I know cute is like obviously a factor, but can you do something to remind this buyer that this is a handmade product, that this is made with 2 human hands? People are actually pouring, love into the making of this product. How can you do that? How can you remind people of that? It's those little details that when they open the box, they're like, oh wow, there was some love spent here. It wasn't just something that they bought on Amazon. This was thoughtfully crafted. So that is one way to do it, is through the packaging. Now for me, at the moment, I have more digital products. I am bringing physical products to my site very soon, which I'm super excited about. But with the digital products, I had to ask myself, how am I going to give them this amazing customer experience. And so what I did with every single sale that came in, I personally messaged every single person and I thanked them for supporting my small business. I asked them if they have any questions, if they got stuck in the pattern, to let me know, and I'm here, I'm available to help them. And I also asked them, like, if you made this crochet piece and you really liked it, I would really appreciate a review. This helps my small business grow. And so just those simple things, thanking them, asking if they need help, and then letting them know, like, hey, like, your review is really appreciated. And so that's all I did. I didn't give any coupon codes. I didn't give any free product. I didn't give any really discounts or anything like that. I just reached out to every single person. I've literally not gotten anything less than a 5-star review. I don't think I should probably go check and see if that's true, but I get 5-star reviews pretty often. And that's all I do, and I do that with every customer. Now I'm doing it more as an automated, so there is a way that when people purchase from you, they get an automated note. And so that's what I'm doing now that I'm getting a lot more sales. But in the very beginning, I did it manually. I personalized it. I used their name, and I wrote back, like, and that's the other thing. You have to follow up with what you promised. Whatever it is that you are saying that you're gonna help them with, you gotta make sure that you'll actually help them with it. If they had issues downloading it, they just couldn't find out how to do it, or maybe they're on a device and they're just having trouble, like, I spent my time with them and I helped them, and those people left 5-star reviews. So that is gonna be so key. Once you start getting more 5-star reviews, Etsy starts, like, the algorithm or something starts kicking in where they're like, okay, like, this seller is taking care of its customers, it's getting a few more sales, it's getting 5-star reviews, and it starts showing your product more and more and more. So that is going to be super key. Tip number 5 is to use video. I'm sure you're hearing about video everywhere nowadays, with short form video just taking off on every major platform: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere. And same thing for Etsy. Etsy is a place to show your handmade products to the world. So what better way to show than through actual video? So as people are looking through your product listing, they're looking at the different photos. You're gonna have different photos. You're gonna have, you know, the very product base photo, you're gonna have like flat lays, you're gonna have lifestyle photos, and I would suggest that you add video. There is now a video option. It is a huge opportunity for us sellers to show our products, like, in real life. How does this product move? Like, how does it wear? Like, what are the functions? Like, if you're selling a bag, show the pockets inside, like all the pockets. If you're selling clay earrings, like, how does that earring move on a real life person? For me, for crochet pieces, like, to show the different angles, to show the back, it is such a huge opportunity for us to show what makes this product special. So make sure you guys use that. Tip number 6 is to list your product in different ways. So I've listened to different podcasts, and I've talked to different people with successful Etsy shops, and you don't have to just list your product once. You can play around with it, and you can evolve it and reiterate and do different things with your product listings and see what works. This is the time for you to really learn. So for example, on my shop, I have some patterns that I listed. It's the same pattern, but I list it in different ways. And there's nothing wrong with this. There's no rule that you can't do this. It's an extra listing fee, but I feel like it's worth it because of what you're learning. What I do is I'll list a product one way with a certain type of photo. I do the keywords and the descriptions, and then I'll take the same exact product and list it in another way. So I will use a different type of photo. One may be a lifestyle photo where it's physically on me and they can see it on a body, and the other is a flat lay to show it in a very clean way. And you can do it in so many different ways. You can list the same product 10 different ways and see what works within your market. Then you also want to change up the keywords and you know, use some other keywords. Just see, make it like a competition. It's almost like that A/B testing to see what makes a product take off. This is going to help you for future listings too, because you're going to have all of that knowledge in mind as you're taking more photos, as you're listing more products, and you're going to see, like, over time you're going to know the market better and you're going to create better listings. So that wraps up the Etsy tips. I know I could keep going because there's so many things that I've learned over these last few months, but I'm gonna kind of keep it short there. Maybe we'll make this into a series where I can do more videos as well. So hopefully that was helpful to you guys who may be launching your Etsy shop. Maybe you have an Etsy shop already, but you want to learn how to make 500 sales. That sounded like a crazy number when I first launched my Etsy shop. But now I'm like, okay, what's the new goal? It's gonna be in the thousands. So I'm really excited to continue growing the shop and to share what it is that I'm learning along the way. I love coming on YouTube and watching other people give tips on this, because it's just like, it's an amazing community, and to be able to support somebody that was in your shoes not that long ago is like, that is everything to me. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys leave your shops in the comments below. Leave your IG if you have an Instagram. Like, let's support each other. Let's go check out each other's stuff. Let's actually go buy each other's stuff. Every time you buy from a small business owner, like, they're literally doing a happy dance. And I know I am. Every time I get a sale, I am so grateful for each person. So thank you guys so much. Stay creating, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.